Welcome back and thanks for joining us. Today we are going to build a 500-gallon indoor tank to overwinter our koi. We definitely over-engineered the tank, but it needs to hold 4,000 pounds of water. Better over-engineered than having it burst and watch our precious koi wash across the garage floor. So stick around and we'll show you how we designed the tank and how to easily build it in a weekend. Our tank will be 5.5 feet wide by 4 feet deep and 3 feet tall. Our biggest concern in the design was the overall weight of the water. The maximum force on any of the walls will be at the bottom of the tank in the center of the longest dimension. To address this, our base will be made of 2x4s lying flat on 8-inch centers that span the 4-foot depth plus the width of the walls on both sides. Each wall will be then fastened to the 2x4 base, which will prevent the walls from bowing out. Here you can see the walls are tied to the 2x4 bottom boards, and you can also see the OSB floor. To start, we pre-cut all of our 2x4s for the walls and the floor to their required lengths. Then we cut the OSB panels. Here we are building the floor of the tank. As we talked about earlier, the floor is made up of 2x4s laying flat at about 8 inches on center with a layer of OSB on top. Once the floor was completed, we moved on to building the walls in the same manner. For the long walls, we added the horizontal rails and 4x4s at the same time. For the short walls, the rails will be added after they've been assembled. Once all of the components were fabricated, we could move on to assembling the tank. First, position the base so that all the walls will be clear of any existing obstacles. In our case, we had a gas line that we will need to work around. Once the tank is built, it is very heavy, so make sure you're happy with its position before moving on. Next, we move on to installing the walls. We started with the back wall mainly because of the gas line, but you can work your way around in any sequence you choose. Stand up 2 wall sections to create a corner and attach the sections together using 3-inch or longer screws. You can now adjust the final position of these sections. When you are okay with how they are positioned, attach them to the base. In this case, do not use anything longer than a 3-inch screw, as you only have 3 inches of material to work with. Continue adding sections, working your way around the tank until all the wall sections have been installed. Now you can install the horizontal 2x4 rails on the 2 short wall sections. The last thing left is to install the OSB wall panels. We decided to beef up the corners with some additional bracing, but it's probably overkill and unnecessary. After a quick sweep to remove any debris, we started to tackle the installation of the rubber liner. When you order your liner, make sure to have enough to cover the floor and the walls with some to spare for attaching at the top of the wall. Take your time installing the liner and ensure it lays smooth with no wrinkles or extra loose material. The key to making the tank look professional is to make sure the corners are folded neatly. All extra material should be tucked away into the corners in 1 or 2 folds. We found it helpful to have some clamps available to hold the liner in place as we made our way around the tank. Once you are happy with how the liner is sitting, you can attach it to the top of the tank. We chose to use some 2-inch material to secure the liner. Any liner that extended beyond the 2-inch batten can be easily trimmed away once you are happy with how things look. In our case, our liner was just shy of what we needed on the back side. The 2-inch battens were mounted at the top of the back wall instead of on top of the wall. Here's a short walk around showing you the finished koi tank with the liner installed. Take note of how clean all the corners are with the liner install complete. To finish the tank off, we installed a cover using 2 sections of wire shelving flipped upside down and hinged at the center. This has worked out great as it prevents the koi from jumping out of the tank and provides a place to store their food and other supplies. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please make sure to like and subscribe. And remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of our future videos.